Over the years, our family's had a share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs. All without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, October the 23rd. We've got one topic today. My friend Bill Wickersham is back with us. Good to have you here, Bill.
Thank you so much.
I guess it was about 6-8 weeks ago you were on, and we were talking about the NASA and Library of Congress Symposium that they were having on UFOs.
Not on UFOs. It was on
extraterrestrial life. Extraterrestrial life.
That's right.
Now, this was the Library of Congress and NASA.
That's right.
So how did this go?
Well, there were about 20 scholars that spoke. I did not get a chance to see the webcast. In a few months, they will have the whole program. But essentially, they stayed pretty far away from UFOs. There was one question asked by the Huffington Post, and Dr. Stephen Dick, who is the head of this astrobiology program, formerly NASA historian, commented. In fact, let me just, I brought along.
Now, this was pretty impressive when you think of these organizations, NASA and the Library of Congress, getting together and having a symposium on extraterrestrial life.
And its impact, its projected impact. Now, see, the difference between them and people like me in the ufology community is they do not believe that there has been any ET contact.
They do not believe that anything, that there has been any aliens on this planet.
That's right. But they say it's likely to happen very soon. So the bottom line in terms of asking questions about societal impact is to some degree the same. The problem is if the folks are already here, and there have been John Mack at Harvard and all kinds of folks who have pretty well documented that it does exist, that makes a difference in the way you form the conference.
Even the Vatican has weighed in on this.
Oh, Vatican, not even the Vatican. They've been in this for a long, long time. I don't know if you saw Brother Consolmagno's the article on the astronomer from the Vatican.
Yes, I read that.
Did you read it?
The astronomer from the Vatican.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the impact of how this will affect civilization. How would it affect the way we think about religion?
There's one difference of opinion that I was able to pick up in the cracks regarding his view and that, let's say, of Dr. Dick. I saw one of Dr. Dick's previous comments online. And when the question is asked, well, how do you think people will respond? How will different cultures? The Vatican man said, well, it'll be a 3-day deal, and it's over. Mm-hmm. Dick, as a social scientist, looked at it quite differently. I mean, that could be the case for a few people. When you really think this through, though, it's the biggest discovery in human history.
Right.
So the impact could be a lot of things.
Okay. All right. So that happened. That symposium was when?
It was September 1819.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what else have we got today?
Oh, I just want to say one thing about that also. We've made the case that there's a news embargo on this topic. Mm-hmm. NASA, Library of Congress, one of the most important topics in human history. And I contacted the Washington Post to see their reader representative wrote me back and said we didn't cover it. I now find out that neither did the New York Times. The Huffington Post, the Sarasota, Florida Herald Tribune, the Vatican News, that was about it. Mm-hmm. They covered it.
And this was a pretty big event with the Library of Congress.
Well, and these were heavy hitters, the people who came in. I mean, you had Harvard, Brussels, Berlin.
I can say I don't remember seeing it on any of the nightly news broadcasts.
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, what else?
Well, the other thing was we talked a little bit about a Trib, Columbia Daily Tribune.
You had a op-ed piece in the Trib.
And the beauty of getting that out, we don't get a lot of attention locally. We get some. Some people respond, some cranks respond. I mean, people I would think are being cranky, and we get some other real good support. But what happened was the Z-Land, that's Z-Land, communications network in Toronto, picked that article up, did an analysis of it, and then added on about 6 links of supportive evidence with people like Dr. John Mack at Harvard, people like John Podesta, President Clinton's and President Obama's advisor, and their statements. The Rockefeller Initiative, they pulled out the letters that went to Clinton from my friend Scott Jones and Lawrence Rockefeller. So
and this was all tied together?
All time. In fact,
and it went viral.
If somebody wants to look at it, I can give you the full Google and the short one. The full one is Missouri University professor calls for unfettered study of the UFO phenomenon. But if you just Google Missouri University professor UFOs, you'll get the same thing.
You'll get the whole
schmear, and then it has links, and you can just click on my article. They do an analysis, and they have a link to my article, or link, and to all these other folks.
Now that's interesting reading.
Well, it's the way it works. That's what's interesting once you get something in a paper.
And I think the important thing is just to be able to talk about this, Now, I keep going back to the Vatican and the Vatican response to this, because it amazed me, the statements that came from the Vatican. But then there were 2 sides there. There's the conservative side who said, this is not true, and it never will be true. And then there's the scientific, more liberal side of the Vatican who says, well, maybe there is something there.
I missed the article on the conservative part. I missed that.
There were comments in that.
Is that right? Yeah. Yes. Well, I don't doubt it. This would be true. In fact, some of the movies that I've shown in my film course, we have theologians, liberal and conservative. And as you can imagine, that range is quite wide. And there have been surveys. Most people, they think, would not upset their view of their own religion. But for some, in terms of time, dates, Earth-centric, human-centric notions, that we're the greatest thing that ever since peanut butter,
Right. No, I think it can go hand in hand with religion. But Bill, I thank you so much for coming by. If you want more information on any of this, you can go online and Google it. And
I'm in the phone book. I don't mind being called.
You don't mind being called?
I don't mind. No.
Okay, Bill Wickersham, they'll give you a call. I'm sure somebody's going to yell at you, too.
Well, that comes with the territory.
All right, Bill, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure having you here.
And
come back again. I love talking with you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, nutrition and diet, and we'll tell you about a Lincoln exhibit being held here in town. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. And if you would like to listen to this again or watch it, or you have any ideas for something you'd like to hear, drop me an email. pepperp@missouri.edu. Go to kbia.org, click on Radio Friends. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.